You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear.
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States. And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Vice President Johnson, Mr. Chief Justice, President Eisenhower, Vice President Nixon, President Truman, fellow citizens. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning, signifying renewal and change. For I have sworn before you and Almighty God the same solemn oath forebears prescribed nearly a century and 3/4 ago. The world is very different now. Man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty, forms of human life. And yet the same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. The word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike, that the torch to a new generation of Americans born in this century, tempered by war, hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed, to which we are committed today at home and around the world. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty. This much we pledge and more. To those old allies, cultural and spiritual origins we share, we pledge the loyalty of faithful friends. In a host of cooperative ventures, divided there is little we can do. For we challenge at odds and split asunder. To those new states whom we welcome to the ranks, we pledge our word that one form of colonial control shall not have passed away by a far more iron tyranny. We shall not always expect to find them supporting our view. To find them strongly supporting their own freedom, and to remember that in the past, foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger, ended up inside. To those people in the huts and villages of struggling to break the bonds of mass misery, we pledge our best efforts to help them help themselves. It is required, not because the communists may be doing it, not because we seek their votes, but because if a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. To our sister republics south of our border, we offer a special pledge to convert our good words into good deeds in a new alliance to assist free men and free governments in casting off the chains of poverty. The revolution of hope cannot become the prey of hostile powers. Let all our neighbors know we shall join with them to oppose aggression or subversion anywhere in the Americas. This hemisphere intends to remain the master of its own house. To that World Assembly of Sovereign States, the United Nations, our last, in an age where the instruments of war have far outpaced the instruments of peace, we to prevent it from becoming merely a forum for invective, to strengthen its shield, and to enlarge the area in which its writ may run. Finally, to those nations, themselves our adversary, we offer not a pledge, but a request that both quest for peace. Before the dark powers of destruction unleashed by science, humanity in planned or accidental self-destruction, we dare not tempt them with weakness. Are sufficient beyond doubt. Can we be certain beyond doubt that they will never be employed? Neither can two great and powerful groups of nations take comfort from our present course by the cost of modern weapons, both rightly alarmed by the steady spread of the both racing to alter that uncertain balance of terror that stays the hand of mankind. So let us begin anew, remembering on both sides that civility is not a sign of weakness. It is always subject to proof. Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. Let both sides explore what problems, instead of belaboring those problems which divide us. Let both sides, for the first time, formulate proposals for the inspection and control of arms, and bring the absolute power to destroy under the absolute control of all nations. To invoke the wonders of science instead of its terrors. Together, let us explore the deserts, eradicate disease, tap the ocean depths, and encourage the arts and commerce. Both sides unite to heed in all corners of the earth the command of Isaiah to undo the heavy burden and let the oppressed go free. And if a beachhead of cooperation, let both sides join in creating a new endeavor, not a new balance of power, a world of law, where the strong are just and the weak secure and the peace preserved. This will not be finished in the first 100 days, nor will it be finished in the first 1,000 days of this administration, nor even perhaps in our lifetime on this planet. But let us. In your hands, more than mine, will rest the final success or failure of our course. Since each generation of Americans has been summoned to give testimony to its national loyalty. Of young Americans who answered the call to service surround the globe. Now the trumpet again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemy, poverty, disease, and war itself. Can we forge against these enemies north and south, east and west, that can assure a more mankind? Will you join in that historic effort? In the long history of the world, only a few generations of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I do not believe that any of us, with any other people or any other generation, the energy, the faith, the devotion, this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, can do for your country. Citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are or citizens of the world, ask of us here the same high standard which we ask of you. With a good conscience, our only sure reward, history, the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love. And His help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own.